Welcome to the deep dive. Imagine for a second a movement that claims its starting point, like its entire foundation, is in the East, but its ultimate destiny and the vast majority of its followers are actually waiting across the world in the West.
Right. It's a massive pivot.
It really is.
Yeah.
Today we're jumping into a fascinating text from April 1st, 2009. It's titled, "The Focus of Lifechanyuan is in the West," and it's authored by a figure named Zufeng and edited by Qin Yu.
Yeah, and it's a direct address to the members of this movement, right?
Yeah.
They refer to themselves as Chanyuan Celestials, or just Lifechanyuan members.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive is to unpack the honestly really bold claims, the shifting global strategies, and these profound philosophical warnings packed into this one document.
But before we get too deep into the weeds, we do need to set some ground rules for you, the listener.
Yeah, that is definitely important here.
Because the source material contains some very intense, highly polarizing and religiously charged viewpoints about different global populations.
Highly charged.
Right, so we need to make it explicitly clear that we are not taking sides. We aren't endorsing or validating any of these views.
No, not at all. We are just acting as impartial guides. We're reporting on the ideas exactly as they're presented in the original text, just to, understand the author's worldview.
Exactly. We're looking at the architecture of the ideology.
So let's start with the course shift of the text.
Yeah.
Zofeng claims that even though Lifechanyuan's founder and its starting point are in the East, the focus is decisively moving to the West.
And he's careful to say this isn't some sudden panic, right?
Right. He claims this isn't a recent pivot. He points to a document from 4 years prior called Dialogue Between Zufeng and Jesus to say, this was the plan all along.
It's basically framing a massive cosmic reallocation of resources.
Yeah, it's like this huge bait and switch. He talks about this concept of harvesting mature crops, which made me wonder, why start the harvest in the East if the ultimate focus is the West?
Well, the text's logic relies on this idea that suffering began in the East. So naturally, the harvest must begin there, too. It's the starting line for the human condition, basically.
Okay, that makes sense within his framework. But then he claims the vast majority of these mature crops are actually located elsewhere. And the numbers he gives are they're staggering.
The demographic claims are wild.
They really are. So he says in the East, only about 1 in 1,000 people are members, which is, approximately 3 million people.
Okay, 3 million.
Right. Then Africa have a few 100,000, and South America has about 1 million. So that's 5 million total across Asia, Africa, and South America.
Which is already a huge claim for an obscure group.
Yeah. But then he gets to Europe, North America, and Oceania, and he claims there are 69 million genuine celestials waiting there.
Wait, 69 million?
69 million.
I mean, for you listening, just consider what it means for a movement to claim this massive, unseen demographic superiority in foreign lands. It's an incredible psychological tool.
Because it makes local struggles feel irrelevant, right?
Exactly. Swayfing suggests that his profound exchanges with people across all continents and beliefs, Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, Communist Party members, prove to him that the West is eagerly waiting for Lifechanyuan.
Right. He uses those interactions to validate this phantom army of 69 million people.
It manufactures a universal mandate, but it also creates a huge contradiction. If the focus is shifting away from the East to this massive Western audience, what happens to the actual operations in mainland China?
Well, the text doesn't hold back. It states plainly that the work in mainland China is coming to an end.
Just completely shutting down.
Yeah. He says the information has been released like planted seeds, and no more effort is needed there.
That's a clever way to reframe abandoning a region. The mission isn't failing, it's just completed.
But here's the thing that really threw me. If a movement wants to grow, why does Shuefeng explicitly state that his goal is to cut the current number of 1,600 Chanyuan Celestials completely in half?
He actually wants to reduce the numbers.
Yeah, he wants to go from 1,600 down to 800 members.
Okay. From an organizational standpoint, that sounds like a disaster. But within a high-control group, this is what you call elimination through tests.
Like a purity test.
Exactly. The goal isn't just raw numbers anymore, it's ideological purity and readiness. By culling the group, you weed out the doubters.
So the remaining 800 are like the elite.
Right. And the text says these 800 are deemed sufficient to enter something called the second home.
Right, the second home. What is their actual purpose there?
Their purpose is essentially to establish a living pattern or a program for the upcoming Lifechanyuan era. They are building the prototype.
Okay, so while they're building the prototype, there's a new directive for everyone else,
Right.
and it is completely outward-facing.
This is the English push, right?
Yes, anyone with an English foundation must focus on promoting to the West. He says, do not waste time on the East or Africa. Just focus West.
It creates this frantic sense of urgency.
Definitely. He launches a major project for an English website and demands the immediate translation of all Chanyuan content.
But to pull off something this extreme, literally abandoning entire continents, you need immense, unquestionable authority.
Which brings us to the most startling claims in the entire document. And again, for
Yeah.
the listener, we are just impartially reporting what the text says here.
Right, because Shrefeng's self-identification is, well, it's extreme.
Very. He claims to be the physical embodiment of three major religious figures.
The three of them.
Yes. First, as the embodiment of Buddha, he quotes the Buddha warning that the Eastern land is plagued by greed, deceit, and a lack of loyalty.
So he uses that authority to condemn the region.
Exactly. He claims that after 2,000 years, human nature there hasn't changed. He says he's tired of teaching them and uses this incredibly harsh phrase, saying they are no better than animals and can go wherever they want.
Wow, that is a complete dismissal of an entire population.
It is. Then, as the embodiment of Jesus, he talks about the African continent. He expresses complete heartbreak and says he's lost hope, describing the people as greedy and deceitful.
What's his specific criticism there?
He says, they sing Jesus' praises with their mouths, but act wickedly in their hearts.
Okay, and the third figure?
As the embodiment of the Prophet Muhammad, he simply states he is desperate for the Muslim world.
So how does a single text even attempt to weave together these distinct global religions?
That's what I wanted to ask you. What is the mechanism here?
Well, by adopting the ultimate authority of all three figures simultaneously, the author is attempting to create a universal mandate.
Like an information vacuum.
Exactly. He's telling his followers that they can't turn to their local religious leaders for comfort because he is the ultimate source of those faiths.
Right, and the text argues that because these populations have failed to live up to kind, honest, and hardworking ideals, a purification has to begin.
Purification, that's a heavy word.
Very heavy. He claims it's the greatest creator's plan in motion. And the imagery he uses is intense, he says. Celestials to the celestial world, the human to the human garden, the cattle to the cattle pen, and the pigs to the pigsty.
So it's a complete, inescapable sorting of humanity.
Yes. But if the physical world and its current inhabitants are facing this apocalyptic purification, what should the genuine celestials or even the listener be focusing on instead?
Well, he has to provide a coping mechanism for all this anxiety he's creating. So the text warns members not to be blinded by the illusions of modernity.
Right. He tells them to ignore prosperous cities or the glorious achievements of humanity they see on television.
It's all about rejecting the material world.
Yeah. It made me think of looking at a Hollywood movie set. You know, you walk down the street, it looks like a sturdy, permanent city with brick buildings.
But then you walk behind it and it's just scaffolding and plywood.
Exactly. A strong wind could just blow it over. The text says it's an illusion that can be easily shattered. The real power, he claims, is entirely within consciousness.
That analogy perfectly captures the destabilization tactic. If the city you live in is just a movie set, you detach your sense of security from the physical world.
And he reinforces this with these really specific, poetic, and apocalyptic warnings.
Let's break some of those down because they are crucial to the psychology of the text.
Okay, so the first one. Thoughts on the flesh bring death. Thoughts on the spirit bring life and peace.
Right, classic dualism. It frames the physical world as actively corrupting.
Then he says, evildoers will be cut down like grass.
Which ties back to the harvest metaphor. It pacifies the followers. They don't need to worry about wicked people succeeding because cosmic justice is already on the calendar.
And then the Hollywood set idea comes back. He says mountains that seem strong actually float like clouds, and that this is a testament to the greatest creator's skill.
Right, if even the mountains are just floating clouds, literally nothing physical can be trusted.
It's terrifying, and the Judgment Day imagery he uses next is even darker. He says people will flutter about like moths, and mountains will be like scattered wool.
Moths and scattered wool. That's very evocative.
And your ultimate fate depends on your scale. If a person's scale is heavy, it leads to a comfortable life. But if it's light, it leads straight to the abyss.
That concept, the weighing of the soul, puts an incredible burden on the reader. It demands perpetual hypervigilance.
Which perfectly sets up the urgent final plea of the text. Suofeng tells the Chanyuan celestials they must come together and coalesce like one person.
Like one person. It's a demand for absolute unity, erasing the individual for the collective.
Yeah, because if they don't, he says they will be the ones fluttering like moths, crushed by the difficult road ahead.
The alternative to unity is catastrophe.
Right. And the text ends on this stark, unpredictable note. It says, "Today is a beautiful day with gentle breeze and bright sunshine, but tomorrow is uncertain, and there may be fierce winds and torrential rain that could turn the world upside down."
It's the classic tension of waiting for the other shoe to drop. You can't enjoy the sunshine because the storm is already promised.
Exactly.
You know, connecting this back to you, the listener, and your own experience of the world, it brings up a really provocative thought.
What's that?
Well, why do we so often find meaning in that contrast between a peaceful present and an impending storm?
That's a good question.
Consider how the requirement of profound, unquestioning unity, this demand to become like one person, is almost always preceded by the promise of an unavoidable chaotic storm.
You have to invent the storm to sell the shelter.
Exactly. How often do we seek the safety of the group simply because we've been told the sky is about to fall? It's something really profound to mull over when looking at any group demanding total loyalty.
Yeah, that really changes how you look at the architecture of persuasion. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into some truly fascinating source material.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you on the next one.